And ordinarily, we like saving. I mean, savings are good, but when we have so much unemployment, so much underutilized capacity here in the United States, we need spending.
Every single person there has to process 12 units per hour.
How are we going to create jobs if you're taxing the very successful people in America who provide those
are the job creators, by the way.
Sometimes we think that this is a debate over facts and figures and data.
To raise taxes on the job creators in this country.
I think if you believe that, you're fooling yourself a little bit.
The people that you call rich, I call job creators.
When somebody calls themselves a job creator, they're not describing the economy or how the economy works, although that's what it sounds like. What they're really doing is making a claim on status, privileges, and power. If a guy like me is a job creator at the center of the economic universe, the current economic arrangements are righteous and justified. I know how comfortable this is to believe because I used to believe it. I grew up kind of believing that, and when people challenge that idea, I would say things like, well, you just don't understand economics. But of course, if rich business guys like me are not job creators, it's actually our customers that are the job creators. We are not the center of the economic universe. They are. We need to replace trickle-down economics with middle-out economics. And indeed, every place you look on Earth where you find prosperity, you find massive investments in the middle class and the poor. Because at the end of the day, they are the true job creators. The most pro-business thing you can do is to help middle-class people thrive.
Okay, I'm going to get the box. Now, see, this box is really important. I travel not only with my Mini Cooper, but with my box. Hello, George. How are you?
You were so kind to bring the box. We have one for you, too.
In recent years, I've discovered that I actually have a very, very rare genetic condition. It's Fairbanks syndrome. That is responsible for me being very short.
Yeah, let me carry that.
No, that's fine. Yeah. My parents were normal size. My grandmother always said to me, don't worry, because when I hit about 10 or 11 or 12, I'm going to, have a real growth spurt. And then I got to be about 10, 11, and nothing happened. Right this way. I grew up in the shadow of World War II. My father was in the war. We were middle class. My father sold dresses. My mother helped in the shop. My first job in Washington was working as a summer intern for Robert Kennedy. It was a time when there were kind of giants. Robert F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and they were all trying to change society. There was a sense of possibility. It kind of turned me on to politics. A few years later, I was picked to be a Rhodes Scholar. In those days, all the Rhodes Scholars who were selected took a boat to England. The problem was, when you go over there, the Atlantic Ocean is pretty rough. I and most of the other Rhodes Scholars were sick, and I went down to my cabin, thought I was going to die. And then there was a knock on the door, and this fellow was there, this kind of tall, gangly southerner, and he had chicken soup in one hand and crackers in the other, And he said, I hear you aren't feeling too well. I thought these might help. My name is Bill Clinton.